Hello and welcome to part 3 of my series exploring the differences between aerodromes and air traffic services in the UK. Today I'm at Redhill, which has full air traffic control. And the main reason for that is that the airfield is based right next to London Gatwick, the UK's second busiest airport. In this episode, we'll visit the tower to see the controllers at work and demonstrate from a fixed-wing pilot's perspective how to operate when ATC is in charge. Some aerodromes with full air traffic control will require you to obtain a clearance to start your engines. It will usually say so in the published aerodrome information. At Redhill, clearance to start is not required. Most aerodromes with full ATC will have an ATIS frequency, the Automatic Terminal Information Service. It's a fancy name for a recorded message that spells out to a pilot what runway's in use, the weather, pressure and any other pertinent information.
125305.
I'm picking up Redhill's ATIS now before calling up for taxi.
This is Redhill information, uniform, time 0950, runway in use 26 left, surface wind 270, 13 knots, visibility 10 kilometre or more, scattered 2,000 feet, temperature +18, dew point +13, QNH 1015, acknowledge receipt of information, uniform, QNH 1015, on first contact.
The ATIS is usually updated every 30 minutes, and every new update is identified with a new letter of the alphabet, in this case uniform. This should be read back to the controller so that they know you have the latest information. I'm going to call up now for taxi.
Redhill Tower, Golf Bravo Hotel Oscar Romeo, opposite hangar 8 with uniform 1015, outbound.
Golf Bravo Hotel Oscar Romeo, Redhill Tower, pass message.
Golf Bravo Hotel Oscar Romeo, PA28, 1 on board, outbound to Earl's Cone.
Golf Oscar Romeo Tower, taxi, cross the grass, cross runway 18, holding point Alpha 1, squawk 3767.
Cross the grass 18 and taxi Alpha 13767, Golf Oscar Romeo.
I now must follow the taxi instructions I've been given. Some aerodromes with full ATC will use multiple frequencies, so in addition to tower they may have ground, approach or even radar. If Redhill had a ground frequency, that would have been who I'd call first. Once power checks are completed, we head to our clearance limit, in this case holding point Alpha 1, and then as usual I say I'm ready for departure.
Golf Oscar Romeo, Alpha 1 ready for departure.
Golf Oscar Romeo Tower, after departure, leave via Godstone, not above altitude 1,400 feet.
After departure, via Godstone, not above 1,400 feet, Golf Oscar Romeo.
Golf Oscar Romeo, line up runway 26 left.
Line up 26 left, Golf Oscar Romeo.
Because we're adjacent to and below controlled airspace at Redhill, I've been given very specific departure instructions. I must abide by them. Additionally, note that I've only been given permission to line up. I haven't been given clearance to take off yet.
Golf Oscar Romeo, runway 26 left, right turn, cleared for takeoff, surface winds 270, 11 knots.
Runway 26 left, clear for takeoff, right turn, Golf Oscar Romeo. Temperatures and pressures are in the green. Got the airspeed creeping up now. That's 50, here we go.
Golf Oscar Romeo, basic service, remain outside controlled airspace, report changing frequency.
Basic service will go, Golf Oscar Romeo.
And that's basically all there is to the departure. The controller we were speaking to there was Phil Wright, Redhill's senior air traffic controller. I asked him if being surrounded by Gatwick's controlled airspace made things tricky.
It does, yes. We've got limited airspace to play with. We have a letter of agreement with Gatwick that says what we can do, what they will do, and safely segregate the traffic. Yeah, and the biggest restriction is the height. we're limited to 1,500 feet.
Even though your ATZ technically goes up to
it does.
2,000 above.
The ATZ goes up to 2,000 feet above the airfield, and unlike some places, we still have that. So if Gatwick wish to use that, they have to ask us.
Yeah.
It's not ceded to them in any way.
Yeah. And from a pilot's perspective then, I mean, being full ATC, what does that mean for pilots? How do you differ from, say, some of the other aerodromes with different types of services?
Right. We provide an aerodrome control service within the ATZ, which essentially we sequence the traffic in the visual circuit, and the pilots are expected to follow the information and instructions that we give them. Essentially,
you control everything that goes on, both on the ground, on the movement area.
We've got authority over everything moving on the ground, and its information and instructions to aircraft in the air to prevent collisions. And yeah, although the pilot is ultimately responsible for where he flies and how he flies, we give them the sequence and we expect them to fit in and conform to that.
I haven't done the research here, but just thinking anecdotally, there can't be that many grass aerodromes that have full air traffic control. So why is it that you have full air traffic control here?
It's really down to the location that we are on, or partly within the Gatwick control zone. And at the time ATC was put into Redhill, it was very complex. We had Bristow Helicopters Flying Training School here, we had the Tiger Club, and there were very intense movements going on, and it needed to be controlled in some way. We had a mid-air collision over the M23, M25 junction between a PA-28 and a Tiger Moth, and that really focused the CAA on the activities that were going on here. And one of the recommendations coming out of that was they wanted full ATC, or ATC, in at Redhill, and they were looking at all the airfields around the M25 at that time, and Wickham was another one that had an incident, and again they asked for ATC to go in there.
And do you find that having ATC is a real asset for the aerodrome? I mean, I know that you are still quite busy. I don't know what your movements were like before, but you seem like quite a busy aerodrome. There's always something going on. You have the air ambulance here and the police helicopter too, don't you?
Yeah, we do. We've got complex traffic. So yeah, being ATC does mean that if we spot something going wrong with an aircraft in the air, we can issue instructions to it straight away. So if we see it's likely to infringe Gatwick, we can tell the pilot. We don't have to wait for Gatwick to ring and say, tell this pilot to do this. So we can issue an executive instruction straight away.
Now, lots of aerodromes use visual reference points to guide traffic in and out of their aerodromes. And one thing I noticed about coming to Redhill and operating from here is that you make very effective use of those visual reference points, don't you? Because that is effectively how you flow the traffic and deconflict the traffic from each other.
That's essentially it. Because we don't have the facility to join things overhead at 2,000 feet and do a standard circuit or standard join, we've had to use VRPs to filter the traffic in and sequence it. And deconflict the inbounds from the outbounds, which is why we're very particular that pilots use the correct VRP depending on the runways that are in use.
Obviously, if you're flying here because of Gatwick, you're going to need to have a good look at and a good briefing of the aerodrome procedures, but that shouldn't frighten people from coming here, actually, should it? I mean, I'll be honest with you. I mean, in my early days, I wouldn't have come anywhere near Redhill for fear of making a mistake. Do you find that's quite common?
It is, and it's like anything. You read the documents and it looks really complicated because there's all these words and you've got to do this, got to do that. But actually, you must have seen from your flying, it's actually quite straightforward. You soon work out which VRPs you're using to come in and out by, and as long as you're accurate on your height keeping, stay below 1,500 feet, which our maximum is 1,400 feet going out. The procedures are designed to ensure you don't infringe controlled airspace.
It's time for me to demonstrate a typical arrival now at an aerodrome with full ATC. I've already picked up Redhill's ATIS, I've descended to keep below Gatwick's CTA, and I'm calling up for joining instructions.
Redhill Tower, Golf Bravo Hotel, Oscar Romeo, Bow Beach Reservoir inbound.
Golf Uniform Oscar, vacate to the right, cross the grass, cross runway 18 back to parking.
Vacate right, cross the grass, cross runway 18 back to parking. Golf Uniform Oscar.
Golf Bravo Hotel Oscar Romeo, Redhill Tower pass message.
Golf Bravo Hotel Oscar Romeo, back into you from Earlscombe VFR, Bow Beach Reservoir, 1,200 feet with Delta 1015, one on board.
Golf Oscar Romeo, Squawk 3767 basic service, report South Godstone Station.
Squawk 3767 basic service, report South Godstone Railway Station, Golf Oscar Romeo.
With runway 26 left in use, inbound traffic from the east is routing via South Godstone railway station. Outbound traffic to the east routes via Godstone's VRP.
Golf Oscar Romeo, traffic view, police helicopter 135, shortly getting airborne out towards the east, keep good lookout.
Looking for traffic, we're South Goldstone railway station, Golf Oscar Romeo.
Oscar Romeo, roger, make straight approach 26 left and report final. The police helicopter come down your, probably your right side at this stage.
Make straight in approach, 26 left, looking for traffic, Golf Oscar Romeo.
Police 37, that PA28 Godstone station on a straight in for 26 left now. Roger, copy.
Brakes,
traffic,
undercarriage, mixture,
off to anchor.
fuel, landing line, carb heat.
Police 37, PA28 come down your right hand side shortly. Roger, looking.
Traffic in sight, Golf Oscar Romeo.
Golf Oscar Romeo, roger, thanks. Golf Oscar Romeo, 26 left, cleared land, 28015 knots.
Clear to land, 26 left, Golf Oscar Romeo.
Golf Oscar Romeo, vacate to the right, cross the grass, cross runway 18 back to parking.
Vacate right, cross the grass, request fuel, Golf Oscar Romeo.
I'll vacate right, takes the fuel.
Thank you.
Hopefully this series is helping you better understand the subtle yet important differences between aerodromes here in the UK. Please share this video, and if you're a student pilot, why not share it with your instructor and or flying school in case they want to share it as well. Next time I mix with the heavy metal at Southend Airport. It's in Class D controlled airspace, and in addition to the tower controller there's a radar controller too. The video is out on the 22nd of November 2019. My early bird supporters can watch it now. Visit my website to sign up. Fly safely, my friends.